Yo, what's going on guys? Ian77 here. In today's video, we're going to be trying to push to #1 live using 2.8 Hog EQ. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be playing Lumberloon here, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. I haven't really played it too many times ever since like a few of the balance changes, like the Tesla nerf and also the balloon rework. I'm not really too sure how it will be after the balloon rework, but I think it should be fine. Should be a little bit better against balloon actually, ever since the rework, so yeah, that is nice that like the Tesla will always survive with a little bit of HP, because it used to just always die like in pretty much one balloon shot, and then like a few seconds or like any bit of damage that it took, then it would just die. Alright, so we did get a hog hit there, so pretty good start right here. I'm just going to cycle an Earthquake here. It will be kind of a slow game here. It's going to be a little bit annoying, especially in double elixir when he just like sets up those bowlers, then just builds like those huge pushes. Firecracker is kind of nice at stopping it, but he does have the bar barrel as well in his deck, so it's pretty good at stopping our Firecrackers if they're higher up there, and he can always NATO it too, so it won't be easy, but at least like the things like Ice Spirit are nice. Like I see a lot of you guys commenting down below that you guys use E-Spirit and you're like asking me if E-Spirit's good, and to be honest, E-Spirit's not bad, but I feel like Ice Spirit's a lot better in this deck. Like it's so good against Balloon especially, and against Sparky, and just like a nice thing to have like a really long reset. Like Ice Spirit has the 1 second reset while E-Spirit only has the 0.5 second reset, and honestly E-Spirit wouldn't really help you in too many matchups either, except like maybe Graveyard or something. But I feel like against Graveyard it would probably help you, but it wouldn't help you enough to like decide whether you would win or lose against it most of the time. So I don't really think it's too useful, but I guess against Golem as well it's kind of okay, but like you can beat Golem even without it, so it doesn't really matter too much here. By the way guys, just a question I want to ask you: what is the most fun thing you do each day? Just like wondering what are some fun but random activities that you guys do, because I don't know, I probably will have a bit more free time, especially after I get stuff finished up with my final year of high school. So just wondering what are some things you guys like to do in your free time, especially. I know I like to play Clash Royale in my free time, but I do mostly like to play Clash Royale just for like recording it. I don't always play too much CR besides like recording, but kind of depends on the day as well, so a bit random for me. But I do like playing Brawl Stars with friends. I'm not sure if any of you guys play Brawl Stars. It's like another mobile game by Supercell, and it's pretty fun. Okay, he's actually gonna somehow bypass our Tesla with his balloon there. Kind of unlucky, I think like the Inferno Dragon pushed it a little bit, so we'll get like a few shots on our tower, but actually not the end of the world here. Still, Firecracker is gonna get a bit of chip here, and he doesn't have any direct damage except like a tornado and a freeze, which do pretty much no damage, so still have a chance here, although it could be pretty risky right now. Alright, he's gonna go with the bowler at the bridge. He's probably gonna try that bowler plus tornado trick where he just gets like the bowler off and then he tornadoes everything in front of the tower, trying to make sure that he can get like splash damage. We can't really allow him to do that. His balloon will get death damage there as well, so if we take pretty much any more damage, we're pretty much dead here. So I'm gonna EQ him here, hoping that we can cycle like maybe 2 more EQs and a couple logs to take out his tower, but I'm not really too sure what we can do here. Okay, this is gonna be super close here. He might freeze pretty soon, but just gonna go with the Hog Rider right here. That way he can't really go in with the freeze right away unless he wants to lose his own tower. He will actually go with the freeze on defense there, so I think he might try to tornado all of our stuff. Like he probably purposely saved that tornado for our units. Okay, whoa, that was crazy. That bowler should have got a shot on our tower, to be honest, but all our stuff just barely managed to kill it, so that will be game. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy, and he is actually from the same organization as me, I think, judging by his name, so let's see what he's gonna pull out. Okay, so does have Bandit plus Snowball, so it can pretty much only be like 1 or 2 things, either like P.E.K.K.A or Mega Knight. And either way, we're just gonna activate our King Tower here. Should be able to do it with an Ice Spirit right in that placement, and yeah, gonna help us out quite a lot. And judging by the E-Spirit, probably will be MK here. And yeah, he'll go with the Queen in the back. And Yeah, you guys may have noticed that I'm playing 2.8 Hog this time. Honestly, I'm just playing it because I just feel like it's a fun deck. Kind of just playing it for fun, not really because it's like the strongest Hog EQ version, but I'm actually doing super well with it right now, so definitely still viable. I know a lot of you guys ask me pretty much every video if it's still viable, and it really is still viable. It's not as good as the other versions of Hog EQ, I feel like, well, compared to like the Queen versions, but it's definitely still quite good. And definitely still viable as well. Alright, and yeah, sometimes this deck is a little bit weird in this meta. Like, we had to leak there for a few seconds to make sure that we could stop his bandit well. Didn't really want to, like, overcommit on something earlier. And he will actually go with the queen there. Kind of a bad queen, to be honest. I think the Firecracker will get one more shot on it and should pretty much finish it off. He did go with the ability, but it was kind of too late there. And we're just going to be cycling EQs here. The nice thing about this deck is that it's a little bit better against Mega Knight compared to the traditional, or not the traditional, but like the Hog Queen deck. It's a little bit better than that against Mega Knight, which is kind of nice because Mega Knight's obviously really popular, and it's just really nice to have like Firecracker in the deck. Like, Firecracker is a really interesting card, to be honest. Sometimes you just wish you never were playing that card, but then other times it just gets so much value and you love it. But yeah, I mean, the thing I enjoyed about when I was playing Queen is that I never had to worry about the king activations like you do have to worry about when you play Firecracker, so that was really nice. But gotta love Firecracker in these like MK matchups and stuff where they just have like no way to kill it pretty much, as long as you play it far on your side of the arena. And yeah, he will lightning it, but it doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. Just gonna cycle another one, because the nice thing is that it's so cheap, so even if they do spell it down, it doesn't really matter too much, and it's never really going to be a negative elixir trade for you either way. Okay, unfortunately the bandit does actually kill the Firecracker. Not really sure how that happened, but bandit is a little bit buggy, so sometimes it survives with like 1 HP when you really don't think it should. I'm just going to go with Ice Spirit plus Skeletons here. He did actually manage to get the Queen ability down in time, unfortunately. Sometimes you can catch them off guard and they won't get it down in time, but he did get it there. And okay, he's actually gonna lightning there. Gotta be a little bit careful here of his MKs and his bandit, but gonna get a super good log off right there. His bandit might dash on our tower, but honestly not too bad for us. He did get like a good amount of damage with his bandit there on the left side, but it is opposite lane of the one that we're going, so not really gonna matter too much either way, I think, because he's probably gonna be going with most of his Mega Knights in the right lane anyways. And yeah, so in this match, you mostly have to be careful of the Queen. Like, this used to be, I mean, I feel like MK decks used to be a pretty easy matchup for this deck until Queen came out. Then it became like quite a bit harder. It's definitely not a hard matchup when you have the Firecracker version with Ice Spirit at least, but it is still like not an easy matchup. Like, you have to play really well, but if you do play really well, you can beat it pretty consistently. So it is nice that you have, I don't know, a chance to beat these meta decks pretty well with this Firecracker deck if you play well enough. And honestly, this deck is probably a little bit higher skill cap than the Queen deck. Like, if some of you guys don't really care to like learn Hog EQ 2 in depth, then you might want to try the version with Queen in it, because it's a lot easier to play and it's definitely stronger in this meta. But this deck is really fun to play, and honestly will probably improve your skills as well, so it is nice to also try something a little bit different than what you might traditionally see. Okay, Bandit is gonna dash kind of weirdly once again. Bandit kind of going all over the place this match, but we're defending super well here, and as you can see, our King Tower just doing absolute work here in this match. And okay, actually gonna miss the log there, kind of unfortunately. Okay, somehow the Bandit actually does kill the Ram Rider right there, so looking really good here. By the way, guys, just want to say this before this match ends. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. I just felt like saying that because on the road to 100k so far, I think we're like 2/3 of the way there, so I appreciate any support on that. Hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy, and this guy's like the infamous giant skeleton hog player, so it should be an interesting matchup here. He does have Tornado in his deck, and he does have like a couple ways to stop our hogs, but our EQs should get a good amount of value. Like, in the matchups where you can't get that much hog damage, you can always cycle the EQs on his tower, but this guy's like super experienced with the deck that he plays, so it's a little bit risky sometimes. And just gonna go with another Hog here. We did outcycle his NATO, and looks like he will go with the Skarmy on our Hog. Honestly, I kind of expected the Skarmy, but I didn't really want to like prediction Earthquake or anything on it, because I kind of just wanted to make sure that I would have enough elixir for defense here. So honestly, like, the only thing you have to watch out for in like these types of matchups, I mean, I know most of you guys probably aren't going to face a deck like this, but maybe if you face like a similar deck, if you're facing like other giant skeleton Hog Rider decks, you always have to be careful of them trying to like use the giant skeleton to like help their Hog Rider bypass a Tesla, because there's like special timing and a trick that they can do to have their giant skeleton push the Hog Rider out of the Tesla range. So you do have to be careful with that sometimes. So you might like want to bridge block the giant skeleton, or you might want to like place your Tesla one more tile closer to the Hog Rider. And you will actually mess up his tornado there kind of nicely for us. Yeah, so really good start here, really good defense as well. And just kind of chipping away with all of our little units here. Alright. And yeah, the nice thing here is that he doesn't really have any good cycle units. Like, he does have a few cheap cards, but not really anything too cheap, so we can always get chip damage with our ice spirits and stuff. Alright, and yeah, he's pretty much just going with giant skeletons in the back pretty freely. We can't really stop him from doing it, or like punish him too much. Like, the thing is, normally we could outcycle a deck like this if we have such a fast Hog cycle deck, but don't really want to be too aggressive against this guy, because I know that he can like pretty easily punish us with his giant skeleton Hog Rider pushes, so can't really be too aggressive with our stuff. So kind of just focusing on defense a little bit more here, and we already have a decent damage lead, so not really too worried. But I will go with the Hog here since we already have like quite a few things down here, and Hog might actually get a couple hits right there. Yeah, we'll get 2 shots off. So honestly looking really easy here, but we do have to be a little bit careful because he does have like the giant skeleton trick that he can do, and also like the wizard is actually a little bit annoying in this matchup for once. Like, I know most of you guys complain about wizard, but it's actually, I mean, like, and most pro players don't really care about wizard, but it's actually kind of annoying in this matchup because the thing is, either we have to go with the high Teslas and he can snipe it with a wizard in the middle, or we have to go with the low Tesla and he can just like fireball it in the tower. So it's a bit of a lost situation, but if we make sure to protect our Teslas well enough, we should be fine here. And yeah, just gonna Tesla high up here. If he goes with a wizard on it, we can probably just log it away. Yeah, just gonna log it, because 2 Tesla shots and a log will kill a wizard and a few other units like musketeers and ice wizards and all of that stuff. And he will go in here, but Hog will get 1 shot on his tower. He might get a few Hog hits here, but we do just need only like 1 more EQ, or yeah, just 1 more EQ here, and that will be a good game. In the next game here, we're going to be up against AirSurfer. So AirSurfer is probably the best American player right now, at least in competitive play, so should be an interesting matchup here. He does often play Royal Giant, but we're going to have to see what he plays here. He does have Tombstone, so it could be some beatdown deck, could be Graveyard as well. Okay, so he's going to have a Baby Dragon here, just going to Hog opposite lane. He probably will have like a NATO for it or something. Okay, it looks like he doesn't actually have it in cycle and just use it against our Firecracker there, so okay, I was gonna say pretty good there, but unfortunately his Baby Dragon just got like way too much damage on our tower right there. I feel like Baby Dragon is kind of a sneakily annoying card. Like, it always gets way too much chip damage than you feel like it should. Alright, and I think he will still have to respond to our Hog, or he probably won't, but it will get like a shot on his tower. Okay, actually 2 shots somehow. Not really sure how Hog got that extra shot. I feel like Hog is a pretty balanced win condition, but sometimes it does get quite a lot of value, I will say. And he does go with the Skeleton King ability there, but honestly I don't think it's the best ability by him. He will get like 1 skeleton shot on our tower, but that's about it, and looking pretty good right here. His Baby Dragons will be a bit annoying though, because we will have to commit the Valkyrie to it, and now we won't have the Valkyrie for his Skeleton King, so we kind of have to choose our cards wisely here. And he will go with the Night Witch in the back, but honestly, I'm not too scared of Golem decks with Hog EQ anymore. Like, ever since the Night Witch nerf, it's pretty pathetic. I feel like the offense that Golem decks can put out right now, it's kind of weak. at least the ones with Night Witch and stuff, they feel pretty easy to counter with Firecracker and Tesla and all of that stuff. Yeah, and to be honest, guys, some of you guys could even try to run this deck with Cannon if you want. Like, Cannon is probably the best building right now, with Hog Rider, at least. And, I mean, yeah, probably Tombstone is actually the best building, but I feel like Tombstone isn't very good in, like, these cycle decks or anything like that, so it's probably better that you guys use, like, Cannon and a few of the other meta buildings with more control decks, if you play something like this. Yeah, I feel like Cannon could work in this deck. The only thing is that you're gonna have a pretty weak air defense if you try Cannon in this deck, but depending on where you are in trophies, it could be good still. But yeah, you do have to be careful though, because if you're facing like a lot of air decks or like a lot of matchups where Tesla's really needed, then you might not really want to use Cannon in this deck. But some of you guys could probably have a lot of success with it, kind of like a makeshift 2.6 except with Firecracker instead of Musketeer and like EQ instead of Fireball. Alright, so we're honestly doing really well right here, just pretty much applying pressure the entire game on him, and he hasn't even been able to build up like a single good golem push. Like, he built up one mediocre golem push, but nothing really too special, and we're defending really well here. We'll go with the Skeleton King ability, but not really going to do anything for him because Valkyrie just absolutely wrecks it. And actually, I saw quite a few people like calling for a Valkyrie nerf, but to be honest, I don't really think it should get a nerf. Like, I mean, I could see it getting like a small HP nerf, but if it got a big nerf, then stuff like Skeleton King and Royal Hogs would just be completely broken, and that will be GG right there. Alright, in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy, and he is one of the best Goblin Drill players, so should be a Goblin Drill versus Hog Rider matchup. To be honest, I don't really face Goblin Drill almost ever anymore, though ever since that one nerf it got, pretty much no one plays it except for this guy, but he does play it pretty well, so should be an interesting matchup here. Guards are kind of a little bit annoying for us, I feel like, in this matchup, because you can always use guards plus Fire Spirit to fully counter a Hog Rider without it getting any damage, so he does have a couple ways to counter our Hog Riders, but Earthquake is really nice for us especially. And we will have to see like what exact version he's running, because sometimes they do use like Inferno Tower, sometimes they do use Wall Breakers, and I think this guy probably has Log in this deck, and probably no Wall Breakers. I know sometimes they have Wall Breakers as well in this deck, but I think this guy probably doesn't in this version. I'm just going to have Bomber to apply some extra pressure on us, but not going to be too difficult to defend right here. And he does have Inferno Tower as well, but honestly, should be a little bit better for us than if he had Tesla. It is pretty hard to break through Inferno Towers, but it does cost them 5 elixir, so it's always a negative elixir trade for them, which is always nice. And even though you can defend drills pretty easy, it can get a little bit difficult towards double elixir time especially, or even later in the match, because it can always get drill plus fireballs, and his goblin actually does get a few stabs on the tower. He actually got like 3 goblin stabs somehow on the tower, and that's basically just because of the true red and true blue mechanic of the Goblin Drill, where it will only get distracted by the Valkyrie if it's, I don't know, like, in one lane the Goblin Drill would have got 0 damage on my tower, but in the other lane it got like so much damage on my tower, like 500, so it's really kind of weird how that works. I don't really like it too much, but this is going to be pretty okay here, I feel like. I mean, you can always have skeletons on the Goblin Drill plus a log, and it will always fully counter it if they don't use other cards, so that's always good. But if you use a Valkyrie, it won't always distract the Goblin. And he does actually miss the Firecracker with his Fireball, but he is going to Goblin Drill plus log there. So the kind of annoying thing about the log there is that it kind of prevents us from using the skeletons too well on his Goblin Drill, because it does kind of like block up the drill. Alright, so just going with a Hog EQ plus log here. We'll get 1 hog shot on his tower as well. Actually 2 shots somehow. I have no idea how that got 2 shots, but I'll take it. Alright, he's just going to pressure at the river with guards. They're going to pull it a little bit with the Hog Rider, and going to get an Ice Spear off as well. That guard will actually get 2 shots on our tower though, so we have to be a little bit careful here. Goblin Drill is a little bit of a weird card where it can get like a ton of damage sometimes, just like really randomly, and looks like he will go with the drill plus fireball and a log there as well, but Defended pretty well. He does get one Goblin shot though, so it is actually getting a little bit close right here. Honestly, the log is really annoying, but just gonna keep pressuring with the Hog Rider here. It's probably always gonna be a negative elixir trade for him to defend. Like, he's gonna use the Inferno Tower, but it's always gonna cost him one more elixir than we had to spend, so it is pretty fine here for us. But I'm kind of worried about his Goblin Drill. Just gonna prediction Valkyrie here, because if you predict his Goblin Drill, like, you can always fully counter with the Valkyrie if you do get it in the right placement. I'm just gonna hog here, and okay, I thought we would honestly take his tower there, but he did have log at the last second, so wasn't quite able to do it. I'm gonna prediction Valkyrie again. We do end up missing here though, so I'm gonna Ice Spirit as well, making sure to stop the goblins. Oh no, somehow that bomber got like so much damage. He does go with the Inferno Tower here though, kind of in a bad spot, so yeah, that will be GG. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!